On November 30th of 1963, an actress by the name of Karyn Kupcinet was found murdered in her apartment in West Hollywood, California. Karyn Kupcinet, her nickname was Cookie Kupcinet, was an actress. She was in a lot. Actually, if you saw a video, I'll put a little bit of that video in here. I did a video about Karyn Kupcinet a few years ago, and a friend of mine who lives in Australia, a writer by the name of John Goddell, reached out to me, and we got to talking about Karyn, and he is writing about Karyn and putting together a story, not a story, a fact about Karyn, her life, what it was really like, because Karyn, you know, she was always portrayed as extremely neurotic, and she was with a boyfriend, and she was trying to, the boyfriend was trying to get rid of her, and she was sort of stalking, and it's a very complicated story, and she's sort of a footnote, something having to do with JFK too, which is a really weird association. Not really, but it was rumored to be. Anyway, before all that, I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. John sent me this, and this is for our archives of our museum. And what he told me, some of the things that are in here, which are absolutely mind-bending for people like us. And I'm going to open this up.
Karyn's murder is sort of well known around Hollywood and along the lines of JFK conspiracy theorists. The story that Karyn was overheard by an telephone operator in Oxnard, California, screaming into the phone, "The president is going to be killed," 20 minutes before the assassination of JFK. Her death took place about a week after John F. Kennedy's murder in Dallas, Texas, and her father, Irv Kupcinet, knew Jack Ruby in Chicago in the 40s. Jack Ruby was the man who was tried and convicted for the murder of Lee Harvey Oswald, who killed JFK. So there was an association. Karyn also was quite... I don't know, they say that she had body issues. She was encouraged by her mother to lose weight. She'd never become an actress if she didn't lose weight. And there was a lot of diet pills and crash dieting, that sort of thing. She continued to work sporadically over the next couple of years, including small parts on Hawaii and I, Perry Mason, and The Andy Griffith Show, and also struggling with her weight issues. So her body was discovered on the 30th, Saturday night at 7 p.m. and at the apartment on Sweetser Avenue in West Hollywood. The decedent, Karyn, was last seen Wednesday night at about 8 p.m. That would be the 27th. And she was found at 7 p.m. by a friend. That would be on the 30th, Mark Goddard. And his address is here. The friend states the decedent was upset and seemed despondent. She lived by herself and in this apartment for about 4 months. She was lying on the couch on her back. She had been turned over prior to the arrival of the coroner. Body in the nude. Sheriff has a note in their custody. It may be a suicide note. She had been treated by a doctor on Wilshire Boulevard who was out of town at the time. No other information available. No one's ever been charged with Karyn's death. Some say she accidentally fell and clipped her hyoid bone on the coffee table. One columnist said if anyone suggested anything but murder to Irv Kupcinet, he would have murdered that person. Andrew Prine went from being a hot property in Hollywood to a guy who couldn't get a job at a car wash. Never being able to escape the rumors or accusations about the death of Cookie Kupcinet, Prine died on October 31st, 2022. There were a couple of other men that were suspects, but they were quickly ruled out by law enforcement. The other prime suspect was David Lang, then 27, the younger brother of actress Hope Lang. At the time, he was struggling to break into the movie business. He says Karyn wasn't really a friend. He'd seen her at a couple of parties with Andrew Prine. She helped Lang rent the apartment below hers. He'd lived there for just a couple of days, and they talked about getting together. The next time he saw her, he said, she was getting carried out of the courtyard building in a body bag.
John sent this to me in April, and I have not opened it. It's been sitting here on my desk since April because I wanted to devote proper time to it, and then I ended up traveling, and I ended up doing a lot of other things. So now is the time where I can actually look at this. And remember, Karyn was murdered, strangled in her apartment in West Hollywood. It is still an unsolved crime. There is, her father was quite influential in Chicago politics, and he in show business. He was a columnist, but everybody loved Irv Kupcinet, and Essie Kupcinet, who was his wife, is said to be quite the reason Karyn ended up being as neurotic as she was. They say is possible because of her mother's behavior, and Essie Kupcinet wanted to be an actress and saw her success be able to transfer that onto Karyn. Thus, Karyn was really pressured into a lot of things that I don't think she would have necessarily, as far as acting goes, putting herself out there, because I think it was more of her mother's inspiration or passion, not so much Karyn's. And anyway, this has to do with Karyn. These were actually, these items were Karyn Kupcinet's personal items. These were in Karyn Kupcinet's apartment when she was found murdered. So Karyn's, mother and father are dead. Her brother's dead now. So these items are sort of being made available to us. So these were actually items that were in Karyn's house when she was murdered. These prints, these documents. So, and this is Visions of Rome. Whatever the year on this. Let's see it. Oh, these are all nicely with mats. So these were, when they boxed up Karyn Kupcinet's things and sent them all back to, her parents in Chicago, these were Karyn's personal items. And they're here in our archive now. Be careful with this. I should be wearing gloves, but I'm not a gloves kind of person. Now this is a telegram. I'm not going to open this up because you can see it and it looks like it's quite delicate. Karyn Kupcinet, Dayton Memorial Hall. Deliver, don't phone. Darling Karyn, we will be with you in spirit, if not flesh, from opening curtain till closing applause. In tradition of show business, break a leg. Mother and dad. So that's Irv and Essie Kupcinet. So it's a telegram from Irv Kupcinet to his daughter Karyn. Now this collection, look at this. Look at this. This is all like real. This is a book in French, dated 57. But look at Karyn. So these are Karyn's illustrations. That's her name. I don't know if that's actually her signature, but you can see the different, must have been, doing some money management or something. But Karyn drew these as I'm putting my fingers all over them. It's a really delicate little book. November 12th. This is so delicate. I know there are people that are archivists that are probably losing their mind right now seeing me touch this. What? Drury Lane Theater, picnic with Darren McGavin. Look at that's Kolchak the Night Stalker. And the old man in the Christmas Story. Drury Lane Theater. I saw some shows there. This is in Chicago. Cullum McLeod, Ann Eggert, Melanie York. Oh gosh, Darren McGavin was like second on the bill. Ilka Deal. And Karyn Kupcinet plays Millie Owens. She was third on the bill. Made her professional debut last fall in the National Company of Anniversary Waltz with Leif Erikson and Phyllis Hill. Although this was Cookie's first appearance on the legitimate stage. She was actually been in show business since she was 5.5 months old. It was at this early age in her life that she made her debut as a photographer's model. Since then, her photos have been published in leading national magazines as well as in commercial advertising campaigns. At the age of 3, she made her entry into the living theater with appearances in many little theater productions. She is the daughter of Irv Kupcinet, columnist of the Chicago Sun-Times. Cookie has been seen in Chicago televiewers on several occasions when she has taken over the celebrity interviews of her father. She is a junior at Francis Parker. And look at this. Oh, I'll get that to that one next. This is a letter. Oh, look at this. This is from Steve Allen to Karyn's brother, Jerry Kupcinet, in Encino. Dear Jerry, enclosed is a copy of We'll Fix It in Post. Thanks for reminding me of the number. I completely forgot about Cordially Steve Allen. That was dated in 1993. So Jerry Kupcinet was in show business too. I know he had something to do with, he worked on Judge Judy, I know that. But Jerry has passed away. So that's a note from Steve Allen. This is a personal letter, so I'm not going to read that. It says, the script book of Father of the Bride belonged to Karyn Kupcinet. The writing and drawings inside were all done by her. It was handed down from Irv Kupcinet estate to his son. So that's a certificate of authenticity by who John acquired this from. So this is Karyn's script for Father. Look at all these notes. And these are Karyn's drawings. Those, I love these drawings that she did. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Wednesday. So these must have been the rehearsals. An opening rehearsal schedule. These are really, it looks like her. These are self-portraits, I bet. And she has her lines circled. Sit on, rest, snuggle. Sitting at table. So those are her stage directions. Where she should be placed. Stress, simplicity. Here's a line that was knocked off. Gosh, there are tons of these drawings in here. Sitting for light. I can't quite tell what that says. So all her little stage directions, where she's supposed to be sitting, where she's supposed to cross over the stage, rise, then sit. Do you like my dress, Miss Bellamy? It's sweet of you to feel like that. Or she was good. One eye. Lots of one eyes. Lots of single eye drawings. There's some doubles, but there's lots of eyes. And look at this. And look at this.
Investigating officers began interviewing witnesses and potential suspects.
Edgewater Beach Playhouse, Sunday in New York, special guest star Karyn Kupcinet. Edgewater Beach, Chicago. Oh, that's right, Edgewater, that's north. Chicago. Ooh, cool. Oh, isn't it? That looks really familiar. Sheridan Road, Edgewater Beach Hotel. Yeah, I think that's on. I think I know that building on. That's on Hollywood, I think. Don Jacoby and the Diamonds, his all-star band. Ossie Davis, who is in the best night gallery. Ruby Dee. water tower complex. That's actually the literal water tower in downtown Chicago. Sherman House. This is a nice little time capsule. This whole thing is a crazy time capsule, John. And the Boom Boom Room on Sheridan. Authentic Jamaican performers doing limbo and calypso. Cool. John, thank you for these. And this is, I mean, that's crazy. Irv Kupcinet is a legend in Chicago. And they say he was an integral part of possibly getting Kennedy elected. I know Mayor Daley was. This. And Karyn's script. And a note from Steve Allen. And another playbill. And then one of Karyn's books. Wow. Thank you, John. So not only do I have what John sent me, which is a fascinating archive of Karyn Kupcinet, I have this. This is one I got on my own. And I'm taking this someplace very interesting to show you. This is an essay called Cookie Crumbs by a writer named John Godel, I hope it's Godel, written in Sydney, from Sydney. And John's a friend of mine now, and this is about the actress Karyn Kupcinet, nicknamed Cookie Kupcinet. And as you guys probably remember in a video I did recently, on November 30th, 1963, Cookie Kupcinet was murdered in 1227 and a half North Sweetser in West Hollywood. And that's where she was murdered. Behind it, actually. I'm going to try to go back there. So this envelope I got recently has something of Karyn's in it that I received, and John sent me several other things as well from that belong to Karyn Kupcinet. But this was the first one I received, and I am going to open it, hopefully not get kicked out back there. Only with good intentions. I have opened the envelope, but I haven't looked at it yet. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be tearing stuff up in there. So Karyn's body was taken down those steps. And in this envelope I have something that belonged to her. A script from Father of the Bride with notations of hers. Now, I don't think that's Troy Donahue's autograph, but I don't know for sure. But that is certainly Karyn's. Karyn had a lot of body issues brought on by her mother, really made her quite neurotic. And it's interesting because of these drawings that are in there by Karyn that were actually in that apartment up there. She was playing K-Banks. But look at these drawings done by Karyn. She's actually quite good. And I think these are self-portraits. She quite liked her eyes, according to John's book.
And you could read John's book online, actually. It's very good. It's a cute name, too.